Right, it's time for PBIS Make Good Choices. All right, so let me just kind of get our Prezi geared up for you. So this is making good choices using Chapter 4 from Teach Like a Champion. All right, so Chapter 4 is all about engaging students in your lessons. The three main points of the chapter overall are that great teachers engage students so that they feel like part of the lesson, that students must be engaged in both the lesson and the work, and also that techniques that you use should cover ways to draw students into the work and keep them focused on the learning. So this time what I did is I gave you like snippets from each of the techniques, but also you can see here there are video clips on the DVD that came along with your Teach Like a Champion book, which I don't even have mine handy with me to show you. Awesome. But I promise there's a DVD in there. Anyway, the key idea from technique number 22 is that in order to engage participation, you should call on students regardless of whether they've raised their hands. This is really cool. Like, I've used this before in classes, and kids are like, wait, what? What you doing? You know, because I'm just like, all right, boom, let's do this. So it says kind of like the key point here is that it is critical to be able to check out any student's level of mastery is at like any time when you're teaching. So for example, I'm seeing the same four hands. I want to hear from more of you versus, okay, Darren, give me the causes of World War I. Sheila, you're next. I don't know where I came with this name. Okay, but you know what I'm saying? So you could say just like boom, 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 boom. So it almost could be like a really great warm-up. So like maybe you have them do bell work on a chapter that they just did or something like that and say, all right, let's review big concepts, and then just like pick random names of kids. Does that make sense? You can't answer me. Okay, so then the next thing here is apparently there are some really good examples of that. Honestly, I didn't get a chance to watch these, but I'm going to tonight, and then we can talk about them when you see me in the hall. So clips 7, 8, and 9 on the DVD have examples of other teachers doing this. Technique number 23 is called call and response. So when you ask a question, the whole class replies out in unison. I had a physics teacher in high school that did this, and he would be like, and the question you ask is, and we'd all be like, why? But we'd all do it together, and it became kind of like a class routine, and it actually was really helpful for me as a student, and I've tried it a few times as a teacher, and it's pretty hip. I like it. The purpose of doing this is for academic review and for reinforcement, certainly not for teaching new material. It kind of keeps the class a little bit more high energy, like, oh man, what's he going to say that again? Or whatever, behavioral reinforcement. And so he has like kind of these rules that repeat, report, reinforce, review, and solve. Okay, so this whole concept that you're having the kids call back to should be universal. Like obviously in a physics class, everything is about why. Why do things work this way, as it should be probably in any class. Okay, so a key idea here is to use group choral response. You ask, they answer in unison to build a culture of energetic, positive engagement. And it's nice because all the kids do it together, and it's actually a really nice thing to do in your class. Another technique is called pepper. So the teacher asks a question to a student, and then he or she answers back. Now, if they get it right, then you ask them a slightly more challenging follow-up question, and then if it's wrong, you give the same question to another student until they get it, and then you continue, kind of peppering the students with questions. So this is a really great warm-up, kind of like similar to the cold call. Warm-up or energizer, you can kind of fill in a straight 10 minutes. Like, let's say it's at the end of class, instead of kids like, time to go, stuff, you have 5 minutes left of class, you can say, all right, quick, what do you got on this one? Okay, Bobby, help her out. Nope, so-and-so. And it's a great, like, even in lieu of like maybe have them do like the formative assessment, like exit slip, and then have the kids like answer questions about that. So that takes up like that extra time, and then it reinforces to the students that they can't just like look and see what so-and-so wrote down. They actually have to like know and be responsible themselves for what you've just taught them. So it's also really great to do right before an assessment, and you can see, as will I, a great example on clip 10 of your DVD. Next, we have technique 25, which is wait time. After asking a question, his whole philosophy here is that you don't want to give them more than 5 seconds of wait time, because then that just, it drags class out, and you like lose your momentum. But if you give them less than 3, you're really not giving them enough time to develop deep thoughts. So he says, according to research, it takes about 3 to 5 seconds for kids to formulate thoughtful answers. This is also good for the kids, you know how you always have like the one annoying kid in class, like I was that kid who was like, oh, I got it, like right away. It's good to like let the other kids wait and like see that you're waiting for other people, so they aren't going to go, oh, they're just going to call on so-and-so again, and it kind of keeps them engaged and responsible for having the answer, especially if you use cold call too, because then they're like, oh, she might ask me. So I think I kind of covered all these. Oh, he says that according to research, length and correctness of student responses are likely to increase if we have good wait time, and this can be demonstrated or seen in clip 11 of the DVD. So next is technique 26. Everybody writes. I love this one. The key idea is to set your students up for rigorous engagement by giving them an opportunity to reflect first before they answer in writing. Okay, so before you have a discussion, let them kind of form their thoughts in writing. And I have a lot of kids who are like, oh, shoot me in the face, I don't want to do more writing. Why do I have to write? And actually, this is really nice because it kind of rescues kids. Like, okay, we're going to have a discussion. You are all going to be responsible for sharing all of your brilliant ideas. So I'm going to give you like 10, 15 minutes to write about them first. And then it also helps build their confidence. Like I've done this before, and a lot of kids will be like, can you check and make sure that I'm doing this right? You know, and then it gives them like that reinforced confidence that, yeah, they are thinking correctly, they have the right answer, and then they feel confident in actually having the discussion, and then they further engage in their learning versus putting them on the spot to just talk, and they're like, either won't talk or they'll, maybe this is the right answer kind of stuff, you know? So it's great. It's effective responses. It elicits effective responses to start discussion. You can even cold call. So Kelly, what did you write about? Opportunity for everybody to participate. Writing, of course, refines thoughts. It's like almost why we do writing. It steers students toward key concepts, depending on the prompt. And students remember twice as much if they write and speak it. So it's good stuff, and you can see it all on clip 12 of the DVD. Okay. Technique 27, he says that every lesson needs a little Vegas. Okay, so Vegas isn't sparkle for sparkle's sake. It reinforces not just academics generally, but one of the day's learning objectives. So he says that there are 5, I think I counted that right, key points. And there should be like production value. So pay attention to your, like you are the teacher, we're the entertainers and the performers, right? So we have to pay attention to timing, volume, and props, like if we need to use them, okay? It should be like a faucet. So like if you have some kind of thing like, and the question you ask is, then everybody goes, why? And does like a funny thing, you should be able to like turn that on and off like a faucet. So kids should know, and you should teach them directly, when is it appropriate to do your thing and when is it appropriate then to stop and move on. And so like that's like part of that timing and building up class expectations. Okay. There should be a same learning objective when you Vegas your lesson, okay? So if you're gonna, for instance, use this kind of like fun, engaging technique every time to introduce a lesson or to do concept building, like it should be consistent, And if you think about it, like it's really hard to come up with like a really fun and engaging routine for like 18 different purposes. So especially like if you're not, like this isn't quite your teaching style and you don't want kids like in your class, find some kind of fun way. Like maybe you have like a horn or like a bell, or I didn't come, like that's terrible. Just like something that you do to like introduce or signal that this is concept mapping time or something like that. I'm gonna let that one go. Okay, so chorus line. There should be the same steps at the same time. So if you imagine a chorus line, it would look pretty bad if everybody were kicking at different times or somebody was like off over here. It wouldn't work, right? But for a chorus line like in Vegas, I guess, to function, everybody has to be at the same step at the same time, and that's how we should conduct our class. All right, and of course it has to be on point. A good activity must be vigilantly managed. Okay, moving on. Prezi, did you freeze on me? Oh, is this it? Are we done? No, we can't be done. Are we really done? I thought there was one more. Oh, dude, we're done. Okay, so this concludes, I guess, our Prezi for Making Good Choices, Chapter 4 of Teach Like a Champion. You can quiz me in the hallway and keep me honest to see if I actually watched the clips. And you should too, because I'm sure that they're wonderful. Thank you so much for your time and have a fabulous day.